Hey y'all, it is Jocelyn here from flippedlifestyle.com and the Flipped Lifestyle podcast. I'm coming to you today from my back porch. So, welcome and thank you for checking out my video. This is the second one of these that I've done so far, and there are much more to come. You guys have given me some great feedback on this and asked some amazing questions. So, thank you for that. And I'm going to do my best to try to answer some of those. So today I have a question from one of our audience members. So she says, I'm very interested to hear strategies for overcoming my introversion. I'm a teacher, and that trait has been one of my toughest challenges to overcome. By the end of the day, between interacting with hundreds of teens and standing before an audience, I've always felt so exhausted and stressed. This 10th year, I opted to switch to teaching virtually, and now I'm even more out of practice from speaking publicly. All right, Trista. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you so much for your question. As a fellow introvert, I totally understand what you're going through, and I understand that sometimes it can be difficult to do these types of things when you are an introvert. There's actually a lot to unpack in your question, and I found it kind of interesting. So first of all, I want to say that I'm not a psychology professional in any way, shape, or form. I am just a person who is interested in personality and the way that it affects other parts of your life. I've taken a lot of parts of that. Of course, it does not make me a professional. So, just take what I say and apply it if it is useful to you. And if not, then, obviously see someone who knows more what they're talking about. So first of all, I want to dive into the first part of Trista's question. I found her choice of wording kind of interesting. She says she wants strategies for overcoming her introversion. Well, I find this interesting because I think really a huge part of your question is about figuring out who you are and being okay with it rather than trying to overcome it. So really, I think that people are born introverts or they're born extroverts. My husband, Shane, a lot of you guys know him. He is my business partner. He is definitely a born extrovert. He loves being around people. He gains energy when he's around them. Sometimes we used to do podcasts at night. Sometimes we have had to even stop doing that because after he gets off of a podcast, he is so fired up, like he can't sleep after that. Off a podcast at night, I'm exhausted because that has taken a lot of my energy away. So without question, I am what I would consider to be a born introvert. No matter how hard I work at it, I cannot become an extrovert. So let's talk a little bit about introversion. I think sometimes people have some misperceptions about what an introvert is. So let's start there. All right, here are some stories that you have maybe heard, or maybe you tell yourself about being an introvert. The first one is that all introverts are shy. Okay, a lot of times people think, well, if you're an introverted, if you're a shy person, you're an introverted person. That's not necessarily true. I don't consider myself to be a shy person. I will talk to anyone, and I like to talk to people. I'm very friendly most of the time. I'm very talkative, but I need to not be around other people to get my energy back. Another story you might hear or that you might tell yourself is that introverts don't like. That's also true. We do like people. We just like people when we want to be around them. So that one is definitely not true. Another one is that introverts can't be front and center in an online business or in any business. And that's definitely not true because I did it for years before I went full-time into Flip Lifestyle. So those are the stories. So let's talk about the truths. The truths are that introverts recharge by spending time alone. Okay, it's just like a phone. So when your phone's dead, you plug it in. When an introvert is out of energy, sorry, there's a spider crawling on my computer. When introverts are out of energy, they need to spend time alone to gain energy back, okay? Extroverts, on the other hand, they need to be around other people to gain energy. So just like Shane and myself, I need to be alone. He needs to be around other people. And as you can imagine, that can sometimes be a little bit problematic when your spouse and extrovert husband is. Introverts also need time to process information in their heads before speaking, okay? As an introvert, a lot of my thinking goes on inside my head. For Shane, a lot of his thinking goes on out of his mouth, which is fine. But, you know, when you have somebody in a relationship, one person who likes to talk things out, another person who likes to think things out, that can be a little bit hard at times. Sorry, my dog is barking too. This is the joys of working at home outside. Another truth is that introverts enjoy many of the same activities as their extrovert friends, but they probably need more time to recharge after those activities. All right, so you may be asking yourself, how do I know if I'm an introvert or an extrovert? Usually people know this already, like it's just something you know about yourself, but sometimes you don't. And so a simple way to know is what I call the doorbell test. So think about being at home. Are you a person who's like, yay, someone's here, I can't wait to see who it is? Or are you like, oh, someone's here, I wonder who it is? If you're the second one, like me, then you are probably an introvert. It's not that you don't like people. It's just that for me, I don't like surprises. I don't like someone just showing up at my house unexpected. And I might not have the energy to interact with that person that day. So that's what I call the doorbell test, okay? If you want more details, like if you want more information about whether or not you're an introvert or an extrovert, I like to take these quizzes online. Now, are they scientifically accurate? I don't know, okay? But they're fun and they make me feel like I understand myself better after I take them. One of them that I've done recently is called Personality Max, and I'm going to put the link to my results in this video or in this podcast. And this is a Myers-Briggs style personality assessment. Okay, so if you don't know what Myers-Briggs is, this is a really famous personality assessment. You can look up information on that if you're not sure what it is, but Personality Max is one that I found really interesting. It goes really in depth. It's free. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I just thought that the results were eye-opening and really interesting for me. There are also other free sites like 16 Personalities. There are lots of them. So if you just look up like Myers-Briggs free test, you can find a variety of different ones to take. And there's also the actual Myers-Briggs, which you can take online for a fee, and I have done that one as well. So I like to just do a lot of different ones and see what they tell me about myself. And it's interesting to compare the results from site to site also. Mine are generally pretty similar. So if you haven't taken that before, I recommend that you give that a try. Now, let's go back. Next, she talks about being a teacher and the challenges of presenting to students all day. She wants to know about how not to dread public speaking so much. And let me tell you, Trista, okay, as a former teacher, I know what you're talking about. When you have been interacting with people all day long, it is really hard to think about going home and talking some more when you get home. But at this point, I want to go back to understanding who you are and being okay with that, because I feel like that there's a deeper issue in your question, that you're thinking it's not okay to be who you are. So as an introvert, I know that I personally need a break after I've been talking to people all day. So if I have a really chatty day, then I know that I have to schedule in some downtime before I jump right into another social engagement or a business obligation of some kind. When I record these YouTube videos, I typically don't schedule any other activities where I have to talk for a while afterwards, okay? So right now I'm recording this video at 1 o'clock and I don't have anything else to do until like 4 o'clock. And I did that purposely because when I'm here talking, that's a lot of energy for me, and I know that I'm going to need some time to recharge before I jump right into my next activity. And here's the thing, like if you don't want to present to people live, don't do it. Find a way to create content that doesn't involve that type of engagement. If you don't want to make videos, write a blog post. If you want to talk to your audience without showing your face, do screen capture videos. I used to do this all the time when I was still involved in elementary librarian. I didn't want to get online like this, so I would just do like a PowerPoint and I would record my voice over it, okay? If you have a business partner who's an extrovert, like me, I'm not an extrovert, but my business partner is. You just have to do your best to meet each person's needs while at the same time respecting their differences. And this is something that's hard for us. Like, we've been in this 6 years and we're still not perfect at this yet. Like, we're still learning how to best work with each other's personality types, our learning styles, our working styles, all those types of things. This is why you'll see Shane and myself, we divide up tasks in the business. This is why we don't always go online together, like online videos or other stuff. This is why you'll see us divide up, because he has a need to do a lot of talking. I have a need to do very little talking. So we sort of find a way to make that work. The bottom line is that you need to figure out who you are and how you best operate. If you can do those things and you can find ways to make content or to talk to your audience in ways that complement your personality rather than trying to overcome your personality, then that is going to help you much more than trying to fix something that isn't broken. You're not broken because you're an introvert. And I think sometimes our society, especially American society, they want you to feel that way because, you know, a lot of successful people are extroverts. A lot of successful people are introverts, but we're just a little bit quieter about it. And so I think that sometimes people feel like being an introvert is something that's a negative thing, when really it can be a positive thing if you know how to channel that energy appropriately. Hey, thank you, Trista, for your question. And if you are out there trying to start an online business, you want the support of other introverts as you build that business, there are lots of them inside our Flip Your Life community. You can join right now for free. All you have to do is head over to flippedlifestyle.com/free. We had somebody just yesterday talk about how she was a lurker. She didn't participate often in the community, but she used the resources that we had available to her, and she quit her job just yesterday. So this is something that is just awesome. We love our community. We would love to have you be a part of it. If you're not in yet, head over to fliplifestyle.com/free, and we hope to see y'all there. Thanks. Bye.